Hello and welcome to the session on primary education in India. Let me begin with the quotes of Nevin Fenneman. The purpose of primary education is the development of your weak characteristics. The purpose of university education, the development of your strong. Elements of quality primary education. Primary education is a key to the economic development of a country. The final output of it, such as literacy, enrollment to higher studies, etc., is given topmost emphasis by the studies conducted in this field. The World Education Forum, held in 2000, has set an ambitious goal of universalizing primary education by 2015. Formal education is considered to be the most important institutional mechanism for developing human skills and knowledge. It is believed that the more the education opportunities, the more rapid the anticipated development. Anyhow, globally it is observed that more than 11.5 million children of the age group of 6 to 10 years are not attending any schools. Quality primary education doesn't compete with any other phase of period of education, but supports the whole education period of a person. Quality education is considered to include learners who are healthy, supported by their families and ready to participate and learn. Safe, protective, healthy and gender sensitive environments which provide adequate resources and facilities. Relevant curricula and materials for developing basic skills. Providing knowledge in areas as gender, health, nutrition and peace. Child-centered teaching process in well-managed classroom and schools. Skillful assessment to facilitate learning and reduce disparities. Outcomes that encompass knowledge, skills and attitude which helps the total development of the nation. The children who are healthy both physically and psychosocially are seen to learn well. Positive early experiences and interactions are also vital in preparing a quality learner. Studies in this field reveal that if parents have aptitude for reading and involvement in education, the grade repetition and early dropouts are reduced considerably. Prevention of infection, detection of disease and injury prior to school enrollment are also critical to the early development of a quality learner. It has been proven from studies in various countries that children who participate in early intervention programs do better than the children who do not benefit from formal elementary education. As far as the environment of education is concerned, there are made up of physical, psychosocial and service delivery elements. The lack of quality of school facilities such as library, class materials, laboratory, etc. result in lower test scores and higher grade repetition as per the study reports in this area. The infrastructure of the school building, including instructional materials, laboratories, clean water supply, etc., also have a significant impact. The psychosocial elements to a considerable extent affect girl children. They face both direct physical threats and more subtle assaults on their confidence, self-esteem and identity. Sometimes extreme physical assault including rape may be perpetrated against girls. In general, the threats coming in the form of unequal treatment, harassment, bullying and undervaluing harm the students in long-lasting ways. Behavior of teachers, total discipline policy of the school, interpersonal and intergroup conflicts clearly have an impact on mental health of children. Service delivery includes the sanitation, cleanliness, time-to-time healthy checkup and counseling wherever required. The availability of suitably designed child-centered curriculum for each grade, well-trained, motivated and dedicated teachers are inevitable factors of quality education. The assessments conducted periodically should be able to bring out the basic skills of each student. Current status of primary education in India. In India, since independence, importance had been given to higher education only and primary wing was comparatively neglected. Importance to primary education was increased by 1970s. This got reflected in the constitutional reforms, policy initiatives and allocation of funds in budgets of union government. In 1976, education was put under the concurrent list of constitution denoting the joint responsibility of central and state governments. The new education policy was announced in 1986 and subsequently revised in 1992. The revised NEP introduced aims, universal access to enrollment of primary education, retention of children in the age group of 6 to 14, improvement in quality of education to enable all children to attain essential levels of life. This decision led to the importance of primary education and allotting more funds towards it. Several initiatives were taken to improve the state of primary education throughout the country. The important among them are Operation Blackboard, introduced in 1987. This scheme provided separate classroom and teachers for primary and upper primary level in schools. Additional provisions of teaching learning materials also was effected. Simultaneously, during 1987-88, non-formal education was launched mainly with the help of non-governmental organizations intending children who have dropped out or haven't attended primary classes. During 1998-99, National Child Labour Project was launched specially to educate children who were engaged as labourers. In 1994, in the initiative of central government, District Primary Education Program DPP was launched in 42 districts of 7 states, which afterwards expanded to 214 districts in 15 states. It covered 60% of primary schools. The unique feature of DPP were the autonomy provided to districts in planning the implementation through respective state governments and a holistic approach in universalizing elementary education. In 2000, central government introduced Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan SSA, aiming enrollment and retention of all children of the country up to 8th standard. Earlier to this, in 1995 itself, the Union government had introduced the National Program for Nutritional Support to Primary Education, under which all government and government aided schools were expected to provide cooked midday meals to all children. It was materialized only in 2001 after a Supreme Court order in this regard. All such initiatives of more than 3 decades resulted in many positive outcomes in the primary education field in India. As per data available, there are 10,37,813 primary schools in 581 districts of India, of which more than 86% are in rural areas. In most part of the country, for children in grade 1 to 5, minimum education facility is available within a radius of 1 kilometer, and for grade 6 to 8 within 3 kilometers from their residence. More than 93% school-going children in the age group of 6 to 14 have enrolled in schools. Still, dampening the enthusiasm of these statistics, it is a fact that more than 49% of children drop out from schools before they reach grade 8. It is in this scenario, the Union government has introduced the Right to Education Act in Parliament on the 15th of December 2008. It assures elementary education as a right, free and compulsory for every child of age group 6 to 14. As per the provisions of this Act, there should be the availability of educational facilities within an area of 3 kilometers for every child. Even the schools run by private managements should allow 25% of their existing seats to the children of surrounding without demanding anything in the form of fees. The benefit of basic education should not be an accident of circumstance or a privilege, but rights the rule specifies. Even the study materials such as slate, pencil, notebook, etc. should be provided free of cost, which will be reimbursed by the government to the managements. Due to the sincere efforts at governance level and that of NGOs, almost all the states of India have attained considerable improvement in the level of education and literacy. Some states coming in the topmost level are Kerala, Karnataka, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Sikkim and Rajasthan. Even the other states also in the path of victory in universalizing primary education. Positive impacts of universalization of primary education. India has a huge untapped source of productive and creative human capital. If utilized properly, this brain power can be transformed to generate massive economic, social and cultural returns to India. To make this practical, inequalities existing among the various classes of society should be eradicated. The most important step towards achieving this goal is education for all. When the elementary education is made free and compulsory, it can prevent dropout. Some important elements to be dealt with in this respect are bridging the gender and social gaps, getting rid of poverty and social discrimination nexus, breaking intergeneration cycle of illiteracy, developing self-confidence in new generation. It is a fact that inequalities do exist in the society which lead to many types of exploitation. As far as gender inequality is concerned, it is to be observed that in general ours is a patriarchal society. From almost all the surveys and studies conducted so far, it is evident that girl children face various types of partialities and oppressions. When the boy child gets an undoubted selection for gaining education, often girls will be entrusted with domestic works, looking after siblings, cookings, etc. This gender bias would be minimized by the provision of elementary education. A beginning of the path of education may be persuade the parents also to continue, thereby making a girl child go for employment and earn by her own. In the same manner, the predominance of the basis of caste, creed, etc., which creates social inequalities, can be minimized when all are getting education. By acquiring education, general awareness about the surrounding world and basic human rights would be attained, along with which a generation having commitment for uplift of the nation will be formed. It is an undeniable fact that social discriminations are connected with both the financial and social status provided by the caste and creed. This undesirable nexus could be broken only by the access of education and other opportunities equally. Poverty definitely will deprive the children of family from formal schooling if it incurs expenditure. By free elementary education, this factor has almost been overcome. The discrimination on the basis of caste, religion, which still exists to a certain level, also could be reduced by universalization of education only. The necessity of getting educated, or rather at least to read and write, was emphasized at the government level itself by introduction of adult education or total literacy program. By this, the importance of education was rooted in the minds of common men. Subsequently, they became ready to educate their children using the facilities provided. By acquiring education, the boldness and confidence to question social injustices will be developed among the youth of nation. Free elementary education helps at least half of them to lengthen their education according to taste and aptitude. Thus, the basic skills in them will be reflected in performance, which in turn will help to learn the trade, develop competence, thereby promising a better life. Hurdles faced in popularizing primary education. School is considered to be a place more than that which forces the children to rudimentary skills of reading, writing and arithmetic. It needs to be an institution that encourages recreation, building cultural values and fostering a spirit of citizenship. Unfortunately, the primary schools available at present in our country lack these factors due to many reasons. Some important ones among them are listed below: inadequacy of funds, poverty among parents, indifference of parents, schools which are unappealing and unfamiliar, the defects in designing of curricula, untrained and inefficient teachers, inertia from administrative and supervisory levels. According to the records of World Bank, India is one among the low income bearing countries. Hence, adequate resources have not been made available for education. From the existing resources itself, a lion's share is devoted to the development of higher education because it is essential for the scientific and technological progress of nation. Primary education somehow remains neglected to a certain level. A large number of Indian families come below the poverty line. This atmosphere forces the children of age group from 6 to 14 to work full time in order to give financial support to their parents. This child labor can be considered as an important hurdle in universalizing primary education. Illiterate parents will be generally averse to education. Such a mentality will make them reluctant to send their children to school. Anyhow, this hurdle had been overcome by many states in the country by sincere efforts of literacy mission, etc. After independence, a sharp decrease in the number of indigenous educational institutions occurred in India. In that place, the state managed schools arose. Unfortunately, these schools could neither utilize the resources available in the community nor make their own resources available to the community. This brought a lack of familiarity and appeal among the common men. Even though the curricula of such community schools are the most suitable for the atmosphere of India, it is not implemented yet. The primary school curriculum in each state is almost centrally controlled. There are prescribed syllabi, textbooks, etc., irrespective of the diversities in language and dialects spoken by the people and geographical differences. Besides, such curricula do not give freedom to the teachers to make variation depending on the local need. Many primary schools, especially managed by private bodies, run schools with untrained teachers. Facilities for in-service education to teachers is very meager. Even in the case of trained teachers, the training given is not up to the level of satisfaction. The staff members of training institutes do not have continued school teaching experience and their suggestions are not based on the field experience. The policy of transferring teachers hangs as a sword on their heads, always, which diverts the attention and devotion to teaching. The administration in almost all the schools are stricken in the hassles related to the appointment and transfers of staff or other matters which do not contribute towards the overall development of children. This in turn leads to the poor monitoring of the improvement of children also. Besides all these, the multitude of language used in our country makes a major hurdle in this field. Always it is advisable to have elementary education in regional language, but constraints are experienced for this also, since nearly 15 languages only are accepted for medium of instruction. Let me summarize what we have discussed so far. In this unit, the importance of primary education, its current status in India and the factors for its effective implementation is dealt with in brief. Universalizing the primary education should be given prime importance, viewing in front of the long run development in all phases of our nation. Education infrastructure has been expanded multifold in recent years with a view to improve access to education and making it mass oriented. Still, it is a fact that social discriminations on the basis of religion, caste, creed, economic status do exist as a hurdle. The degree of intensity of the disparity only differs in all the states. The system needs to be restructured or modified still to overcome the hurdles and make elementary education approachable and available to all. Now, you can try to answer the question given here. 1. What do you know about the current status of primary education in India? 2. What are the important steps taken in the government level for implementing primary education in India and arousing awareness about it? 3. What is the prime goal of national education policy of Government of India? 4. How the inequalities in acquiring education arise, described in 3 or 4 sentences. 5. What are the hurdles faced in the effective implementation of universal primary education? Hope that you can go through the reference book given here. A brief note of effort to address multigrade teaching in India by Subir Shukla, June 1999, New Delhi. Thank you for watching this program. We can meet again with another topic soon. Have a nice day.